Hi, a few thoughts on getting paid. If someone's determined not to pay, that's always going to be a problem, and there's little that you can do, though there are some patterns of behaviour it might be worth looking out for. A newish account is kept within terms for a couple of months and then places a large order that exceeds his credit limit. People who share orders around between a number of suppliers and only pay you when it's your turn to supply them next. Perhaps just asking people why they're looking for a new account now. Apart from those bandits, you can divide non-payers into two categories: opportunists, I'll come back to them, and people with a genuine problem. So here are a couple of suggestions from me to help make sure you get paid. First, don't leave customer satisfaction to the end. Make sure that your client is happy throughout the process. I realise that this may not apply to everybody, but if you're selling Mars bars, making sure that you have clean, well-displayed stock on sale may be as important as checking with the client at each stage of a house or house construction, house extension, engineering project. It is harder not to pay someone you've spoken to and built a relationship with, and if there are problems, then you can put them right more easily than at the end. Ask the client before you send the invoice and respond in a positive way if they express any disquiet at all. Now, especially with larger clients, it's worth phoning and checking they've received the invoice and that they've everything they need. Take away the excuse that some bit of paper has gone missing. At the same time, ask them when they'll be paying the invoice. Whatever your terms, some customers like to apply their own. So ring them a couple of days before to remind them that they should pay. And do this all with good grace, because bought ledger clerks have feelings too. The opportunist. Someone who takes advantage of your slack procedures. You don't send statements, or you let them go for a couple of months without paying. And the longer we go without paying for something, the more resentful we feel when we do eventually pay. With everybody, good credit control procedures make a difference. After all, we're all most likely to pay the person who shouts loudest, so stick to your terms. You can always take a decision to ease off when a client speaks to you about any problems, but sending threatening letters and not following up the threat just undermines your efforts. I'd suggest writing down your procedures and sticking to them. And don't leave credit control to your sales force. And I think it's worth using a collection service sooner rather than later. Time and again, I heard people say they don't want to lose customers by being harsh with them. But if you spend ages getting them to pay, how much does that eat into your profit? And who wants customers that don't pay anyway? You could just end up with the customers no one else wants. If you're going to give 120 days credit, build it into your price. All of this should be actively managed, so of course you must apply your discretion and use some common sense. So, not a definitive checklist, but a few thoughts that I hope you find helpful. Cheers.